Naruto led Azula through the village towards the top of the Hokage Tower in silence. Naruto held Azula's hand, not wanting to let her go. He wanted to keep her close or Tsuand would kill him. He looked at Azula and saw the worry and fear in her eyes as they walked. He watched as she flinched as she passed a group of people. He wrapped his arms around her waist and held her close. "It okay," he whispered to her as they walked. "I won't let you go." Azula looked up at him. "You're lying," she said and tried to move away from Naruto. Naruto didn't let go and pulled her into hug. "I am not lying," he said as he stroked her hair. "I will stay by your side always, and that a promise of a lifetime." Azula listened to the words and she stood frozen. "He lying," Oze's voice said with a laugh. "He going to lock you away and leave you to rot." "Please don't lie to me," Azula whimpered. Naruto couldn't help but hug Azula even closer. He hoped that his feeling would get across to her. "I won't leave you. I promised, didn't I?" "A promise means nothing," Azula stated and pushed Naruto away from her. "I had promises before and they were all broken." "Your promise means nothing." Naruto just stared at her and walked towards her. He once again wrapped his arms around her form. "I don't care if you think I am lying, I'm not going to leave you alone ever." Azula struggled in his grasp, wanting nothing more than to run and hide, but his grip was too tight. Oze's voice soon entered her mind once again. "This is just a ruse, run and hide like the filth you are. You need to be locked away." Ursa's voice stated, making Azula shake even more in Naruto's grasp, her fear getting the better of her. Naruto couldn't help but feel helpless as Azula struggled in his grasp. "Why can't I reach her?" he thought. Kyuubi listened to this and frowned. She knew Naruto would never lie about a promise. "Let's see what's going on in her mind," she said and pushed her chakra into Azula. Before she entered Azula's mind, she pulled Naruto in his. Naruto suddenly found himself in front of Kyuubi. He was about to ask why he was there when Kyuubi just grabbed his arm and pulled him into Azula's mind. Soon the sight of broken memories filled his vision. "Come on," Kyuubi said and started to walk through her mind. Naruto followed behind her and looked around. They continued to walk around when Kyuubi stopped. Standing in front of them were Azula's attacker from before. "Oh, look at the two little troublemakers," Kyuubi said with a frown. "Are you two tormenting our poor girl?" "Leave, interlopers," Oze ordered. "Azula does not need your help." Naruto looked at Oze and Ursa with anger. "Who are you to judge what she needs?" "We are her parents," Ursa stated. "We know what best for our daughter. So attacking her the last time we were here was for her own good," Kyuubi replied with disdain in her voice. "She needs to be put down," Ursa shouted, but Oze put his hand up to silence her. "We need not explain anything to this filth," Oze stated. "We need only to expel them." Oze made a fist and shot a large fireball towards Kyuubi and Naruto. Naruto narrowed his eyes and charged forward. He created two shadow clones without hand signs and they quickly threw the original Naruto over the fireball. Kyuubi just held up her hand and absorbed the fire without a care. Naruto created a raised non and dove towards Oze and Ursa. "Eat this," he shouted. Oze jumped out of the way and watched as Naruto's attack drill into the ground. Before Oze could recover from Naruto's attack, Kyuubi sent an even bigger fireball towards Oze. Oze dodged to the side but could feel the heat from the attack. Ursa ran to her husband and pulled out her knife. Naruto stood next to Kyuubi and looked over at the pair. "Leave Azula alone," he ordered. "She doesn't need you tormenting her." "You can never get rid of us," Ursa said and threw her knife at Naruto. The knife was poorly thrown and Naruto was able to catch it with ease. "Yeah right," Naruto said, his anger taking control. I will destroy you myself right now. Kyuubi put her hand on Naruto's shoulder. Calm down, she said. Naruto slowly let the knife fall from his hand. Thanks Q, he said. You're welcome, Kyuubi said, and then looked back at Azula's parents. As for you two, it is Azula's right to deal with you, but I can at least give her a reprieve from you two. She lifted her tails and Oze and Ursa were surrounded by chains. Soon both Oze and Ursa were chained to the ground and couldn't move or talk. Kyuubi and Naruto soon left Azula's mind, leaving the chained pair to their current fate. As they re-entered Naruto's mind, Kyuubi started to sway. Naruto noticed this and caught her. Are you okay? He asked, worried. I'm fine, Kyuubi replied, catching her breath. It just takes a lot out of me affecting another person's mindscape beside ours. But you have unlimited chakra, you shouldn't get tired from something like this, Naruto stated. That is correct, but it is still in your body, she said. I can only manipulate a little chakra without your approval, and I used it all up on getting us there. So let me rest. Naruto sighed and helped Kyuubi to her bed. Okay fine, but next time warn me first so I can give you a bit more chakra. Fine, fine, Kyuubi stated and waved him off. Naruto turned to leave. Wait, she called, just to let you know what I did was a temporary fix. It will give her relief for only a few hours. It's up to you and her to get her past this. Got it, Naruto stated and disappeared. Naruto soon returned to his body and Azula had stopped struggling and had snuggled into him and seemed at peace. Naruto looked down at her, glad that she was calm. He suddenly looked around and saw a crowd had formed around the pair. He blushed and rapped, slowly picked up Azula bridal style and headed towards the Hokage Tower once again. Azula felt that she was moving, but it didn't matter. The voices were silent and she felt safe. Naruto had never let her go even when she struggled. She was so scared when the feeling of peace and safety come over her. In her mind she felt the voice stop and silence, giving her peace. Her body reacted on her own and she drew closer into the Naruto. She didn't know why she was doing this, but it felt right. She also felt when he picked her up, her arms wrapped around his neck and her head leaned against his chest. The warmth he gave off was like nothing it ever felt. She once heard her uncle say that a fire can is life and death. He felt like the fire of life, the warmth that provided safety and peace. As they traveled, they didn't notice a pair of eyes following them. The pair of eyes narrowed as Naruto and Azula disappeared out of sight. Dark blue hair fell and covered the eyes, the anger and jealousy shining through. In the Avatar world, Aang and Katara arrived at the Fire Nation Palace fairly quickly. Ever since Aang had come back from the spirit realm, they had traveled no stop to talk to Zuko. Katara looked at her boyfriend in worry as they traveled. He had been surprisingly quiet the entire trip and it unnerved her. He was usually so full of life and always smiling, but whatever happened in the spirit realm had shaken him greatly. She was pulled out of her thought when the sound of her name being called filled her ears. She turned and saw Aang looking at her. Are you okay? He asked, concerned. Katara just smiled. I'm fine, she replied and gave him a quick kiss. Just lost in thought. Aang just nodded and held her hand. She grinned once again and they walked towards the palace. They were greeted by the familiar sight. Standing there were all their friends. Sokka stood next to Suki, a huge smile on his face. Toph just stood there tapping her foot, bored. Zuko stood next to Mai with his usual stoic face. Hello everyone, Katara said with a smile and gave everyone a hug. It's great to see you sis, Sokka replied. It has been a while you too, Suki stated with her own grin. Took you long enough twinkle toes, Toph said with a laugh. Zuko walked up to Aang and held out his hand. I'm glad you came, he said, the seriousness in his voice heard by all. "We have much to discuss." Aang nodded. "Yes we do," he answered, and they headed into the palace. Everyone was soon seated around a large table where food was placed in front of them. Sokka just drooled at the sight of all the meat on the table, and Suki was the only thing holding him back from charging the table. Zuko took his seat at the head of the table and Aang took the seat on his right. Everyone ate in silence, except Sokka, who was stuffing his mouth with every meat on the table. Soon the food was cleared away and everyone looked at Zuko. Zuko looked at all his friends and gave them a sad smile. "Everyone, I have some bad news," he stated, getting everyone attention. "Azula has escaped." Everyone except Aang was surprised. "What do you mean she escaped?" Sokka yelled, and Suki nodded in agreement. "Yeah, you said she was too crazy to escape," Toph stated, annoyed. "She is," Zuko stated. "I visited the day before myself and she was still broken. I had guards watching her at all times. She didn't escape by herself, she had help." "Was it the Phoenix group again?" Katara asked, and Zuko shook his head. "No," he stated, "the guards said she was helped by two canines-like animals with amazing abilities. They cornered her at a cliff near the prison. One of the animals pushed her off the cliff and she hasn't been found since." "Good, that means she is dead," Sokka said, and everyone looked at her. "What, I just saying." "She not dead," Zuko said. "A fall like that wouldn't kill Azula, even if she was broken. So we need to find her," Toph stated. "So what the hold up?" "We have no idea where she has gone," Zuko replied. "Then we tear this place apart till we find her," Toph said, and everyone nodded in agreement except Aang. "You won't find her," Aang stated, getting everyone attention. Katara looked at Aang in confusion. "What do you mean?" she asked, and everyone turned their attention towards their bald friend. Aang was silent for a few moments. "I was recently pulled into the spirit realm by the moon spirit and others," he said. "They informed me that Azula was no longer in this world. So I was right, she is dead," Sokka said, and Suki hit him in the arm. "That not it, Sokka," Aang said with sorrow. "Azula has been sent to an entirely different world than our own." Everyone was stunned. This wasn't possible. "Tell me you're joking," Sokka stated, the fear evident in his voice. "A different world? Really?" "I'm not joking, Sokka," Aang stated. "Azula is currently loose in another world in a different place than our own." "This is very bad," Toph stated, and everyone silently agreed with her. In the elemental nations, Naruto walked into Tsuand's office with Azula still in his arms. Tsuand watched this with a bit of surprise. "Aren't you moving a bit fast, brat?" Tsuand said with a smirk. "You only met her yesterday." "Baa-chan," Naruto stated, a blush spread across his face, and Tsuand laughed. "I'm just messing with you, brat," Tsuand said as Naruto sighed. Azula moved in Naruto's arms and he set her down. She looked at him and her hand slowly grasped his hand on instinct. Naruto felt this and squeezed her hand. Azula felt the squeeze but didn't know how to respond. Tsunade noticed this but decided not to tease the Naruto about this till Azula was better. She looked at Naruto. "Since you are now in charge of Azula and her well-being, your apartment is not acceptable for either of you." Naruto nodded but didn't like where it was going. "Okay, Baa-chan, where am I going to live?" he said, concerned. "I kinda don't have the money for a new apartment." Tsuand smiled. "Oh, I have that covered," she said with large smile. Naruto looked at Tsuand in disbelief. "Really?" he said. Tsuand stood up and headed out of the office. "Follow me, brat," she said. Naruto nodded and followed, pulling Azula along with him. They headed to the top of the Hokage monument and Naruto wondered where they were headed. She led them through the forest behind the heads and soon a large house in a clearing appeared. Naruto just stared at the house with awe. "We are living here," Naruto exclaimed, "this is awesome." Tsuan smiled, "I'm glad you like it," she said, "you are not allowed to leave unless it is to take Azula to her sessions with Inoichi or…" Naruto nodded, "Fine, but can I at least have ramen delivered?" he asked and Tsuan smiled. "No," Tsuan replied, "this is a secret place used to protect VIPs, ramen deliveries not allowed." "Yes Baa-chan," Naruto said hanging his head in disappointment, and Tsuan chuckled. "I'll bring you some every once in a while," Tsuan said and started to head back towards the village. "Have fun." Naruto watched her leave a bit sad for not having ramen but turned to look at Azula. She seemed to be indifferent to what had happened but she had yet to let go of his hand. Naruto looked at her and smiled. "Let's go check out our new home," he said with excitement. Azula just nodded but squeezed Naruto's hand again. He squeezed back and they headed inside. Later with Azula. Azula lay on her bed looking up at the ceiling. She was surprised at where she was staying, she thought she was being taken to a cell. But after the lady named Tsunade left her and Naruto at the house, Naruto proceeded to explore around the house with Azula in tow. The voices haven't bothered her all day and she wondered why. She thought they were finally gone. Suddenly the sound of laughing filled her head. "You thought you were rid of us," Oze's voice stated, making Azula shiver. "The boy and the fox girl could only silence us for so long." "No, go away," Azula said and started to curl up into a ball. "No, we cannot," Ursa replied and Azula cringed even more. "We are here to end you." Azula felt the tears flow down her face as she hugged herself. "You will never be rid of us," Oze stated. "Your failure caused this and you will live the rest of till you end it yourself." "Leave me be," Azula shouted. She lay on her bed, tears streaming down her face. Suddenly she felt a pair of arms wrap around her and pull her close. She turned and saw Naruto holding her. She cried and cried until she had fallen asleep, feeling safe in his arms.